we're going to move straight on now to the second pitch session, and which is going to commence in a very short minutes.
Alors.
So, again, this is a crucial moment to us. We are highlighting the projects. This is what we want to do, and this has to be the asset, the quality of those gross video days. Thank you very much. To all of you, the first project is called Bugarach. You probably have heard of this very small French village in the lost in the middle of the mountains, which was supposed to be the end of the world. And a few years later, we had those guys who went back there and wanted to develop a project. Bugarach, Surviving the Apocalypse. Nanook Film is the production company. Sergi Cameron and Arnaud Giffreux will tell us about this project.
Bonjour, nous venons de Nanook Film.
Good morning. We come from Barcelona. Our company is Nanook Film. Arnaud is the producer. I am Sergi, the project director. I speak a very poor French, so we are going to talk in English.
It's in Bugarach. Bugarach is a little village in the south of France. It's a village with 200 inhabitants. And otherwise, the Mayan civilization predicts the end of the world on 21 December 2012. And they say that that will be a chosen place to survive to this massive destruction of the earth. And this place is Bugarach. But in fact, this is a starting point for us. This is the context, an excuse to reflect around one question. The question is, if everything were to start anew, what will you do to change the world? And we are developing a transmedia project around this question. We are very open to create contents or serialized webdoc around this question, but in fact we are developing the main element that it's a docu game, and now we are showing you 1 minute of this docu game.
Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour.
Je suis le maire de 194 habitants. La commune, elle fait 2732 hectares. Je n'ai pas de police, je n'ai pas d'armée.
So, what? Thank you. So what you have seen is a sketch of our documentary game, which is the central piece of our transmedia universe. What we want to create with other elements, such for example, social networks, a community, and basically a feature-length, which was award winner documentary, is some kind of science fiction documentary, which has other parts. For example, we have a virtual community as well. We have an interactive installation and art and photographic exhibition that we're going to show in different venues. For example, we have a book, and we have basically the last part, which is the original soundtrack. Starting from that point of science fiction documentary, we want to create something different, something new from that transmedia project, because we want to basically spot 7 different areas in the documentary. The 7 areas basically are divided in 7 spots or neighborhoods that the user will have or will be able to go through in the village, which are these ones, from point A to point G. So in the end, you, from the starting point, the entrance of the village, get to the peak of the mountain. It's some kind of initiatic journey from the user. And then when you get to the peak of the mountain, you get to the point G, which is day 22, which is day 0, and the day where it was supposed to got the apocalypse from the Mayan perspective. Then it is at that point when we link the past with the present, with the future of Bugarach, because basically we are very interested in the intersections, in the interaction or possibilities between not only these points, but as well the different collectives or groups that attended or joined Bugarach during these days. For example, let's say about, besides the locals, we have the tourists, we have the army, we have the, let's say, new media believers and fanatics, and all of them get to the peak, and then we connect to the real moment in which we just connect to the present and the future. We create, using social networks, different kinds of games in which you could become, for example, the new mayor of Bugarach, and by extension, the new president of the wall with its own rules, for example. And 2 last thoughts. First of all, this is not a project about the past. We are looking for funding about these different phases. We are like facing the second phase of our transmedia project. And this is a project about the present and the future. Okay, we want to foresee how people or how we are dealing with faith and crisis of faith in Western countries, basically. And the second idea is that basically the Mayans never said that this was the end of the world, but the beginning of something new, a new era of consciousness, and we all take part of that era. It depends on us to change the world for a better. So from 2012 approximately to 2063, there will be some time to make changes. So till then, we are looking for funding. We are open to broadcasters, to new media producers, to new media companies. So we will be around together. Sergi will be around the next 2 days. Thank you very much for your time.
Merci beaucoup. Merci, messieurs. Félicitations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well done for this project. For those of you who